Welcome back to This Week in Agribusiness. Sustainable aviation fuel. It's a phrase we've heard a lot over the last 5 years as airline companies around the world have faced pressure to cut back on their fossil fuel usage. Sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF as it's called in the industry, is a product that's chemically identical to jet fuel, but instead of being made from conventional crude oil, it's produced from renewable products. This could be waste cooking oil, this could be rendered animal products, or importantly, corn ethanol and soy oil. Now, proponents of sustainable aviation fuel see big business. The airline industry around the globe uses 83 million gallons of fuel per day. Replacing even a small fraction of that with bio-based ingredients could lead to a huge new market for these renewable fuels. Efforts are underway in Washington, D.C. to promote the production of SAF. 2 new tax credits have been unveiled recently. One, the 45B credit, designed to encourage production for 2024 and 2025, and upcoming, the 45Z credit, which is expected to encourage production running from 2026 through the end of the decade. Now, the Biden administration has set a 3 billion gallon goal of SAF production by 2030, so there is a lot of enthusiasm pushing forward in this market. Now, one of the interesting things of SAF is that it doesn't matter what it's made from, which means that proponents throughout agriculture are trying different products. Some companies are looking to make jet fuel from used cooking oil. Some are looking at rendered animal products. Others are looking at corn oil. Recently, I had the chance to talk with Nancy Young, the Chief Sustainability Officer at Gevo, a renewable biofuels company, and I asked her what exactly Gevo is doing as it looks to the future.
We're a renewable fuels and chemicals company that absolutely works with the agricultural sector to optimize feedstocks and help develop further low-carbon feedstocks opportunities to make fuel and chemicals and feed and food.
It does everything, but let's dive into a little more detail. Specifically, what type of reduced carbon fuel is Gevo looking to create and where?
Well, one of our favorites is really focusing on sustainable aviation fuel. And our technology is an alcohol-to-jet technology, primarily looking at creating ethanol, low-carbon ethanol from low-carbon feedstock, turning that into jet fuel. And we've been doing that in a pilot facility for many years in Laverne, Minnesota. We are now working to create our first large-scale commercial facility in South Dakota. We call that affectionately our Net Zero 1 facility because we're aiming at net zero fuels, chemicals, and feed and food.
When do you hope that facility to be up and running?
Well, we are working really hard to get through the final elements of finance. We've got all the design in place, the engineering in place, and so we are working with the Department of Energy right now to finalize a loan guarantee program, and we are expecting to have that facility operating with commercial supply in 2027.
That commercial supply, when I hear these airline companies talk, it sounds like they are quite hungry for that commercial supply of low-carbon jet fuel. Why do we still need federal incentives? Why does the government still need to be involved to bring this industry to the airlines?
Yeah, well, certainly they're keenly focused on getting to their own climate goals, so the demand is there. But creating a whole new fuel infrastructure to really optimize agricultural feedstock and other opportunities, you need capital. You're going to build new facilities. You need to make sure that you have the infrastructure to do that. And frankly, also the public policy to support that. And that's a big part of what we've been working with, both here in Washington, but also directly with the farmers and what they can do. We like to meet the farmers where they are in their practices and then work together to say, are there more things that could be done to optimize that opportunity for lower carbon agriculture? What you're doing today, maybe you're doing low till, maybe you're doing some manure instead of synthetic fertilizers. Can we build on that with you? And we have a very specific grant with the U.S. Department of Agriculture to kind of help with that partnership.
It's going to be exciting to watch agriculture bring fuels to the next generation. Nancy, if we've got audience who want to learn more about Gevo, what's the best place to go?
Well, we certainly have a website, so at gevo.com is what I would recommend, but we're always happy to meet people, talk to them. Part of it is about really demystifying the process. A lot of people say, well, how could you do this thing? Well, farmers are very incentivized to be very efficient in what they do. And so to be able to meet them, work with them, and create a feedstock supply that really can benefit for low carbon fuels as well as the other products, it's kind of a win-win-win opportunity. Farmers, producers like Gevo, and ultimately the end customer.
Our thanks to Nancy Young, Chief Sustainability Officer at Gevo, for providing us with that update. And since she and I spoke, we have gotten more updates from Washington on some of those tax credits. The 45Z credit, which is designed for SAF producers and will go into effect in 2026, the first piece of guidance was released last Friday. The IRS said if you are an SAF producer looking to capitalize on some of these tax credits, get registered now. You can find out more at the IRS website if that applies to you. Next week on the program, we'll be talking to our friends from the Clean Fuel Alliance America. They're also working to serve that SAF market, and they're going at it from the perspective of soy oil. And we'll have that update for us next week. Folks, stick with us here today. Propane is another vital energy source on America's farms. And when we come back, we'll talk with Mike Newland of PERC.